What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Master Any Instrument. My name is Daniel Valle, and today we're going to be talking about the bass range. So that is how low and how high the bass can go. Okay, so this bass is on standard tuning. I'm going to be showing you some of the abilities and some of the roles that the bass is in charge of. And so if you open up your charts, I'm going to be showing you on the bass, obviously, and on the piano. So let's go! Okay, so we're going to start with the open E string on the bass. So real quick, for the 5-string bass players that have that B note, B string, I mean, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 more notes, pitches that you get. And then you can tell that the open E is also an octave lower than the lowest guitar string. Okay, so let's look at the first bass octave, E major. Alright, let's look at E major now on the bass, and we're going to start on the lowest octave. So this is a 4th string. E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E. After the 12th fret is the 2nd octave. We're not gonna go to the 2nd octave yet. Okay, so that's a major scale on 1 string. Now we can try it on 3 strings. E. Okay, we could also try it on 2 strings. C sharp, D sharp, E. And then we can try it also another way on 2 strings. So we have a few ways to play that first octave. So let's look at the 2nd octave. Okay, so let's start on the 2nd octave of the bass. And this is a E2, and it's also the same as the lowest open guitar string, the open E. Okay, and it ends at E3. Okay, let's look at E major, 2nd octave. We can find it on the 2nd string, 2nd fret. That 2nd octave is also on the 3rd string, 7th fret. And then you can play it on 3 strings, descending. You can also play 3 notes per string. There's one more version. So there's a few ways that you can play on the 2nd octave of the bass. Let's just look at where we started on our 1st octave. So that's our open bass string. And then we just went through our 2nd octave, and we're about to hit the 3rd octave. So that is the 3rd and last octave of the bass. Which is actually pretty high since it's E3 to like E4, so that's a lot of range. Okay, so let's look at the last octave in E major. It's going to be the 1st string, 9th fret. To 2nd string, 14th fret. Or hit, instead of hitting this 3rd, you can hit it right behind extend it. Okay, and then you can also move it third string, 19th fret. Okay, so that's the third and final octave. Alright, so now that we know how many octaves the bass guitar has, which is 3, we can start to see some of the important roles that the bass plays. So, in a lot of the music, like hip-hop and techno and blues and jazz music, we can see that the bass keeps a foundational groove that people latch onto. And it's the lowest note, so people are able to distinguish the bass from any other instruments, usually what we listen to. And it's keeping time, and it's also offering, for example in jazz, it's offering support, it's offering chord tones, it's offering melody notes. It's in funk music, it's playing slaps or pulls, and in blues music it's just keeping a strong foundation by playing the root note and maybe some other bluesy notes. So all in all, the main role of the bass is to keep a groove, to keep a foundation, so that other instruments, a singer or a solo artist, can play over. So let's look at some of the abilities or some of the techniques that we can use on the bass. Okay, so now that we know some of the most important or common roles that the bass plays, we can begin to add more layers of rhythms and chord tones. So of course for most music we come up with a groove and we stick to that groove, but in music like jazz we have the freedom of adding, like I said, different rhythms. So in a 2-5-1 progression, so that would be pretty boring. We just played that for every time we played a 2-5-1. So to add variation, we can begin to vary the rhythms. See, even just those 2 notes, just by adding variation, you make it more interesting. Now if we begin to add chord tones like the 1, the 3, the 5, and the 7, and even the octave, so depending on what chord quality you're playing, you can begin to play those in different order to add different colors, different variations to your playing. So let's check out the basic 1 3 5 7 1 3 5 7 1 3 descending, and then we could do 1 3 5 chromatic, 1 3 5 flat 5 1 3 we could do it descending, 1 1 7 5 3 1 7 5 3 1 7 5 3. Now boom 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 boom. Or just play just different variations, just the 5th and the root. So those are the main things that the bass has to take care of, and that's how you can add more layers to your playing, by mixing up your rhythms and by playing with chord tones and responding. Especially in jazz music, you're responding to what they're playing, so you play them back certain notes. Alright, so this is the end of the lesson. I just want to do a quick review. We reviewed the bass range, which is 3 octaves. You saw on the piano also how low that is. We talked about some of the bass roles. So that's mainly keeping time and giving supporting notes. And it's the groove, it's what everybody listens to, so you have to be aware of that. And then we found out how to make our bass lines more interesting, how to give them more different variation by adding chord tones or using different rhythms and durations. Okay, so that is pretty much what I got, just a little intro to bass. Let me know what you guys would like to see next. Leave a comment, like, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. See you later.